Hello YouTube, I'm your Huckleberry, and this is a Benchmade Griptilian. This is the 551 model number, which is the full-size drop point Griptilian. It is a very popular knife. There's no telling how many Griptilians they have sold over the years. This is even a knife that's popular, I think, with probably a lot of non-knife people, just because it's a good overall carry option. And let's just kind of get into the stats. We are going to be looking at an 8-inch overall length with a 3.45-inch blade and a 1.2-inch blade thickness. As I said, it is a drop point style blade. It has 154 cm steel, and it has a flat grind with a satin finish on there. So a very, very good looking, very attractive knife, really. Very attractive blade especially. You have a polymer handles here, and that leaves a little bit to be desired, the polymer handles, but we'll get into that a little bit later. We get a right hand, a right or left hand tip up carry, which makes this a truly ambidextrous knife, because with the axis lock there, Benchmade's famed axis lock, it doesn't matter if you're right-handed or left-handed. It's one hand opening and close, as you can see there. I mean, you can sit there and do that all day. It's a really good, really good fidget knife because of that right there. And so let's look at some. Let's go ahead and weigh it. Let's go ahead and weigh it. We got our handy dandy scale here. Let's turn that on and see what it weighs here. So we are looking at about 3.8 ounces, which is really good. That's a really good carry weight there, 3.8 ounces. It is made in the USA, which is always nice. And let's look at some size comparisons here. Let's look at it against the Paramilitary 2. My custom Paramilitary 2 that was customized by these guys here, DK Custom Coatings. Very, very nice. Very pleased with the work that they did. And as you can see, it compares very, very similarly to the PM2. These two are two of the most popular carry options in the EDC world, it seems like, because of the overall size and weight. They're very comparable. And this is just a really good size and weight for carry. And that's why these two are so similar and so popular. Let's look at it against this bad boy here. This is the ZT-055. And as you can see there, the ZT is a little bit bigger. Quite a bit bigger. It weighs quite a bit more, I can tell you that. Let's look at it against the steel wheel mini cut jack. So as you can see there, when we get those lined up, the mini cut jack is definitely going to be smaller. The Griptilian is a little bit bigger. And just for fun, as we always do, against the little ProTech Sprint. I like comparing things against the ProTech Sprint because this is about as small as a carry knife that you can probably really carry, and it has quite a bit of use at this size, but this is about as small as it could get, in my opinion. And so there'll be a review of this coming up before long. Okay, let's get into some of the positives and negatives of the Benchmade Griptilian. The first positive that comes to mind is just the ergonomics. It feels really good in hand. I have extra large hands, and you can see there that I can get a full 4-finger grip on there. And so this is a good size knife. No real hot spots that I can feel. And so it's a really nice ergonomics on it. You got just a little bit kind of a finger guard there and some nice jimping right there on the underneath. I always appreciate that where kind of that pointer finger goes when a knife has a little bit of jimping there that's not too sharp, just to kind of help you lock in. And it has some jimping up here, and that's kind of one of the negatives though, because the jimping on this blade here leaves a little bit to be desired. It's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. It's just okay. The blade steel, 154 cm is a solid steel. It's not going to blow your mind or anything, but it's just going to work. It's just going to work time after time. It's going to be pretty easy to sharpen. It's going to hold an edge pretty well, not going to dull on you too fast. And it's just a good overall steel. Not a bad option there. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, this is a great fidget knife. And I know for a lot of guys, that's kind of important because they sit there at work, they sit there at home and drive their wives or significant others crazy with fidgeting with a knife. And like I said, I've said in a previous video, sometimes we fidget with our knives more than we use them. And so this is a great fidget knife. The price point, honestly, I'll be honest with you, the Griptilian design and price point is probably a little bit dated. Because of the great things coming out of China these days with similar steels and handle materials and everything, you can get a new Griptilian for right around $100 in this configuration. They also have a G10 version with a 20 CV blade, and that one comes in at like $178. That has a pretty significant butterfly tax. That's what that's called, a butterfly tax. I mean, it's not, for made in the USA, it's not awful, but it's not super high value either. And this one is getting to the point with the 154 cm, while it is a solid steel, at $100 for polymer handles, you're getting into not a ton of value there. I mean, it's fine because it is made in the USA, and you of course have to pay a little bit for that, but you're also paying a little bit of a butterfly tax on that. It does have a decent clip. It's not bad. Like, it's nothing great, nothing special, but you know, it works. It's a decent clip. The handle texturing I really like because it's not too aggressive, but you definitely feel it in hand. And it does help you, in my opinion, lock in and get a good grip on that. Not going to slip on you. It's not slippery and slick. And so I do enjoy the handle texturing there. I've also mentioned earlier, but I'll mention again, this is a great ambi knife. A perfect knife for your left-handed friends, or if you're left-handed yourself. This is a good knife for you because it is a truly ambidextrous knife. It has a fantastic action. And that's why I hesitate to call it overpriced, because you do get a good action. You're getting a time-proven design, and so I won't call it overpriced. But like I said, with all the great stuff, with China really stepping their game up, and all the great stuff, all the great budget options that you have these days, it's getting close. But I won't call it that because it's a proven design, and you do get a really good action on it and a really good fidget knife there. It does feel the hand. These polymer handles do feel the hand well, and I like that. When you have a big old hand like mine, it's nice to have it filled up like that. Some of the drawbacks here are going to be disassembly is difficult with the axis lock. I personally have not disassembled this knife, but I have seen numerous other reviews and talked to numerous other people who have, and the Omega springs in here in this axis lock make it hard to disassemble and get back together. I know there is a way that you can just kind of take the pivot out and treat it like an integral, and it's a lot easier, but still, you know, it's just the axis lock makes disassembly a little bit difficult. Another drawback is the polymer handles can feel a little bit cheap. See, that sound to me, that sounds a little bit cheap. You know, it doesn't sound like a good solid thwack. It's a little bit hollow. It's a little bit hollow to my ears, and I don't know if that's coming across on camera or not. I hope it is. But that sound to me it's a little bit hollow, and it just, bad deployment. It just sounds a little bit cheap, which is unfortunate. But you know, it is what it is. And look, again, at the end of the day, I mean, you can call it polymer, you can call it FRN, you can call it FRCP, you can call it whatever you want. At the end of the day, what is it? It's plastic. It's plastic. And plastic, polymer, FRN handles on a $100 knife. Again, we're just reaching that point to where it's almost a little bit too high. A little bit overpriced for $100. You know, and until recently, that wasn't the case because you just didn't have a ton of options. You know, the Chinese-made offerings were not up to par. They weren't good. But man, have they gotten so much better. I mean, when you're looking at a steel wheel mini cut jack with D2 steels, you're getting the same FRN handles. Same FRN scales with a D2 a D2 blade here, D2 steel, and we're looking at around $40 instead of around $100. And we can argue about the steels. I personally would say 154 is probably a little bit better than D2. It's going to take a little bit less maintenance, but is it $60 difference? I don't think so. I don't think it is. And that's why I think we're really starting to reach overpriced with this. You know, because you can get this for $40. And is the Benchmade Griptilian $60 better than the steel wheel? It is better, I'll say that. I just don't know about $60 better. I just don't know. You know, of course, that's just my opinion. Another bad thing about the polymer handles here, of course, the scales, is it can wear. And you can see right there. Anytime I have plastic handles, that's where it always wants to wear, is right there. And I don't really understand it because I'm not too rough on my knives, I don't think. I don't think that I am overly aggressive with those. But it'll wear on you. And so again, $100, $40. The choice is kind of yours. Overall, though, I do really like the Griptilian. I like it a lot. Like I said, it is a time-proven design. It has been very popular for very many years for good reason. It's a good, nice weight, decent steel carry option made in the USA. That's important to a lot of people. And overall, it is a good carry option. It's a little bit more, it's getting up there a little bit higher in price compared to some of the others. But, you know, it's decent. You know, as a matter of fact, let's look. I mean, we can look, just to give you one more comparison. You're looking at the Kershaw Mini Natrix in copper here. Now, we've got, again, D2 steel. You're getting a very interesting copper scales, frame lock, and you're getting a flipper on bearings. And you're getting all of that for around 60 bucks. And so now you got a $40 difference here. Is this knife a $40 better knife than this one? Again, a lot of that is going to be personal opinion, but I don't know if it's a $40 difference. I just don't know. I'll leave that up to you. You can decide. I like it. I'm glad that I have one in the collection. It is a good carry option. It is going to work and work and work and work for you. You can use it. You can abuse it. It's going to do you a good job. As long as you want to pay a little bit of a butterfly tax on it, it'll do you well. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this review. Please, if you enjoyed this review, give me a thumbs up. If you hated this review, give me a thumbs down. All I ask is that you give me a thumbs down. Please tell me why down in the comments. Or if you enjoyed it, you can tell me why down in the comments. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, just want to chat, feel free to leave a comment. I read every one of those and will get back to you personally. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this. Or if you didn't enjoy it, subscribe anyway, because I'm sure I'll have something coming up that you will enjoy. And so thank you, guys. I will see you on the next one.